Rogers, who is located in central office in Hartford, and they all work with me and are very much available and working with the regions and the providers and anyone else that needs some guidance or some assistance as it relates to all things related to employment and day services. So we have been busy at work, and one of our main um, focal points for this year has been the DDS Employment Services Strategic Plan. You may have heard a lot of this mentioned in some of our other meetings, or if you were present at various different meetings. Some of you were part of the Reimagining Day meetings that we had where we reached out to families and individuals just to get your thoughts and opinions and views around what's working for you at DDS. What would you like to see change? And then based on that feedback, we engage with a consultant, or if you will, let's say DDS support network called the State Employment Leadership Network, and they came and they did an assessment of DDS, and it was really a well done assessment, especially considering that it happened right during the beginning of the pandemic. And the assessment pointed out some key factors that were very important for us at DDS to take a look at and to recognize. And of those key factors, we actually were able to hone in on what we want to do to strengthen our capacity at DDS as far as employment, how we want to work on our training that we have, looking at our financing and contracting methods, as well as looking at our interagency collaboration, and just working within those and training and technical assistance and all of those key areas to see how we can enhance and strengthen what we currently have for employment options, but also where we can improve or modernize or make some changes. Because as we all know, whether it had been regardless, of the pandemic or what transpired because of the pandemic, we realized that employment is important for those that want to work, that want to earn a competitive wage. And we at DDS, it is our goal to make sure that for anyone that comes and they are ready to work and want to have a career, and they have a desire or um, they have made the choice and have thought about what it is that defines them and how they want to become employed and be part of the community. It is our duty and our responsibility to help them achieve that goal. So the DDS Employment Services Strategic Plan is really a roadmap to help us get there. It is a roadmap as we see things changing and modernizing, whether it be with assistive technology. As we see now, a lot of companies are allowing their staff to work remotely. So many of the opportunities that weren't necessarily available to individuals who had to have transportation or other unintentional barriers, now they have that opportunity because they can work remotely from home with assistive technology and supports and things of that nature. So we're seeing that jobs are becoming available right now in this, as many have tagged or themed 2022 as the Great Resignation. For me, I like to call it the Great Realization. And I say that because it has become the great realization that there's an underutilized talent pool out there who's ready and willing to commit and want to work. They want to participate. They want to have, earn living wages. They want prevailing living wages. They want to aspire and to fulfill their dreams and their goals. And it's just a matter of employers being able to recognize that and systems and structures being able to support that. So our DDS Employment Services Strategic Plan, it is a plan to help us get there. It is a plan where right now it's comprised of stakeholders that are both internal DDS employees as well as external stakeholders, ranging from parents to providers, as well as advocacy groups and things of that nature. So it is very well represented as far as making sure we have everybody at the table to have input and to have representation as this strategic plan is unfolding. We are now approaching our first quarter report for the strategic plan, which will be made available so that the public can review that. And that way you have an opportunity to see the recommendations from each subcommittee and what has been transpiring, and can review and just be a part of it, even if you're not able to attend the meetings. It is a public meeting when we have our strategic planning steering committee. That is a public meeting, and you can attend. You won't be able to comment or anything like that, but it is a public meeting for you to attend and to be able to see what the meeting proceedings are, and etc. So that's a great opportunity, and it's a wonderful plan that we have embarked upon. And there's great investment and commitment from everyone that's on board with this plan. And we're seeing some, I mean, just the ideas that are coming out that will help to simplify or either build capacity or strengthen framework, or just be more innovative and transformative in how we look at employment, right? Now, I do want to emphasize, some of you are saying, well, she's not talking about day. Day is a part of it, but it is not the focal point of this particular strategic plan. And so that's why you'll hear me once again going back to the employment piece, because employment is what this strategic plan is focusing on, and how we can build and strengthen that area. So again, I welcome each and every one of you that's on this call tonight to come to the public meeting. And I can share the date. I believe the next public meeting is the end of this month. But I can get that to you and tell you exactly, and share that with whomever I need to get that information to from tonight, and I can make sure they share it with those that are on the call tonight. So that's our strategic plan. So part of what we also have worked on is looking at ways that we can train and offer assistance to our case managers, to those that are really the frontline contacts, or who are messaging or supporting families in their decision to decide, do I really want my loved one to work? If so, what does that look like for me? What exactly are the actual opportunities and resources that are available? So we've worked with, again, this State Employment Leadership Network, and DDS is offering 2 case managers, our individual family support staff, as well as to resource management, as well as to our transition advisors, and to our self-advocate coordinators, the opportunity to take this training. And the training is basically an opportunity to provide additional um, tools, training, and other opportunities to enhance what case managers and those that are speaking to families about, on how to have those conversations. Another tool in the toolbox to make it more useful, to make it a more engaging opportunity with friends and with families, or whomever they're having these conversations with, as well as to help families understand their option. And so this is an investment the department has made to help case managers and to have this conversation. A couple case managers took it last year, and they just thought it was really, really useful. And so we have brought it on as part of the training to offer to those that will be individually interacting with families and individuals and other stakeholders as it pertains to employment. Um, and so that's what we're offering, and how we're expanding on our focus to strengthen just the communication and just the information and the conversation around employment. And then many of you also may have heard about customized employment. There's been a lot of talk about that. Some of you may remember Robin Woods when she was here. She was one of the advocates to help get customized employment rolling and get it here in Connecticut. And in the past, Connecticut had Department DDS has supported Mark Gold and Associates, and we had providers go through that training. And some of the feedback that we got was that the training, while it is good, it it's just an inordinate amount of time because of the commitment that a particular staff member has to invest. And therefore, because of the time that one has to commit, the providers weren't seeing that it really balanced out the time, and, and the commitment versus let's look at something else. So we took all of that, the information and the fact that customized employment is geared for individuals who have a higher lawn, a higher level of need, who may have tried other supportive employment such as transition, or may have tried GSC or other options, and it really just didn't work out for them. And customized employment is another service to help individuals who have more needs, look at them from an individualized perspective through the discovery process, through the job development process, through the job placement, and follow along that will help them make sure that they are able to attain and retain the employment that they desire and are trying to actually go about achieving. So that's what customized employment is. In regards to the training curriculum, Connecticut has worked with the State Department of Education and Aging and Disability Services, which is BRS, our VR agency here in Connecticut. And we've worked with them to develop a curriculum. The RESC Alliance helped to actually pull it together with assistance from Linda Ramler and some other key people who are subject matter experts on customized employment. They actually helped, and we took that and the basics of that, and the Rescue Alliance helped to formulate it. And now we have actual providers who are going through the curriculum. And right now, I believe it's roughly 25 individuals are currently certified to provide customized employment through the provider that they work with. And so that is a great, as we're, a great turnout, and as far as a success rate, and when we're looking at the actual training, it takes less time, less money, and it's just really overall an exciting opportunity because we have all come together to work on one initiative, and that's the customized employment curriculum to ensure that individuals who have higher level of needs do have an opportunity at achieving gainful and competitive employment. And then lastly, I just want to touch upon Project Search. Project Search is a internship opportunity for transitioning students who have who have not graduated, and they go through a rotation, whether it be right now, we have several various, but predominantly they're in the healthcare field, such as the hospitals. And right now, some of you may be familiar with UConn Project Search program. We also have some down in the Fairfield County area. We also um, just expanded Project Search, and we have 3 new Project Search providers and programs that have come on board and are launching that. And so that's really a great tribute to the effort, the time, and the commitment from families, from the students that are going through these Project Search internships in the rotation, as well as the host sites, and as well as the providers who are supporting those that are actually in the Project Search internship. So it's just a true testament to the fact that it can work. And DDS is looking at various ways to expand on current programs, to strengthen other programs, and to be innovative as we consider new programs. But bearing in mind that with post, if you will, now that we're seeing things lighten up more so as far as restrictions in regard to the pandemic, and people starting to come back out and starting to slowly re-engage into whether going back to the workplace or what have you, this is a great opportunity for us to look at what the past was, and what worked, what didn't work, but build on that and grow and learn of new ways of how we can support individuals who have disabilities and intellectual disabilities specifically. And so those are just some of the things. I don't want to take up too much time tonight because I know you all have some business at hand besides listening to me just gloat and talk about all that we're doing in the Employment and Day Services unit. So I want to give you an opportunity to ask questions. Maybe there's something that you've heard that I haven't mentioned. So I will now turn it over to whoever is leading tonight, and feel free to ask me any questions. And I thank you again. Those of you who need to reach me, you can reach me via email at amber, AMBER, Burke, BURKE, at ct.gov. I would type it, but unfortunately right now I am not able to do so. But that's what I have for you tonight. So I hope that's what you expected.
That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Amber. There's so many people, and with the screen share, I see a hand raised, but I don't see whose hand it is. So if your hand is raised, oh, I see two. Okay. Let's see, Tammy, I see you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. I appreciate your presentation, Amber. It was great. And what I was wondering about is, you mentioned some people who have higher lawns, but what about people who aren't necessarily looking to start working, but do need to have more in their lives and more preparation to perhaps get to the point of being able to work? Or volunteer perhaps, but need like what school used to have as pre-voc or vocational things like that. And then of course, when school ended, it ended. So is there anything?
Most certainly, yes. We have not. We still have our other programs, Employment Transition Services, which is an opportunity for individuals to have some experience in the community, whether it be volunteering or what have you, but then they come back and get that training on necessary skills that might help them to, as they begin to think about what employment looks like. So there's still definitely transition or supportive employment to help with the training aspect for people who are still on the cusp and not sure exactly if they what type of work they want to do or if they're ready to work and things of that nature. So most definitely, we know that not everybody has reached that point where they have made the decision, I want to work, or even if they have reached a point where they really can go into an environment and work and really be able to engage and be able to have a productive day without having some prior training, some education, and things of that nature. So we definitely still have the employment transition programs and some other training programs that will assist in that particular area. And we're also looking at other ways to build on those programs or to think of new programs that might enhance or meet a need that we're currently maybe someone is not ready to, they've decided that employment is not necessarily what they want to do, but they enjoy the volunteer aspect, they enjoy being with friends and going out and potentially, but they're still on the fence. So we're looking at other ways to build and expand upon on that as well.
Where is that information available? Is it on the website? What you do have?
Yes, most certainly. And I can also share with you the brochure that we have. Employment and Day Services made a brochure that shows you various pathways to get to employment. And some of that may be, is via there's many different pathways to get there if the ultimate goal is employment. And again, it's at your own pace and at the individual's pace and informed choice and what supports them based on their IEP, et cetera. So I can try and send Elisa or someone the actual brochure, and I can send you some of the other supporting information that we have around services for individuals who are looking more so to transition or training programs. And so definitely I can make sure I do that.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Amber, I'm not sure if you have a link, because I can put the link in the chat if you want me to as well.
I do, sir. I want to call you Sergio, and I know that's not your name. I'm sorry. So Sergento, is it? And I just called you Cheese. That's cheese, right? Sergento, that's the cheese. I'm so sorry. Help
No
me out.
worries. It's Serginio or Serge for short.
Sergio. Serge.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you Serge. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, Elisa.
Amber, I know right now you don't have the ability to send the link, but if you send it to me, we will include it with the minutes.
I'll make sure you get it. Thank you so much, everyone.
With your email address as well.
Sure. Okay. Yep. And I think that's in the chat, but definitely, I'll make sure you get everything that you need to make sure you can contact me.
What was it? Amber.Burke at
CT, C as in Charlie, T as in Tom, .gov.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Great. So Annette, I think you were next.
Hi, Amber, Annette Scully. Nice to see you again. Thank you for the presentation. I just wanted to know, do you ever have a list of job postings anywhere? Or could we get our individuals on a list that are interested in looking at jobs, that you can connect them in any way?
We don't actually have an active list of job postings, but one of the things that we do have is the JDLN network, which is our job developers network, and they always are sharing amongst and with each other various opportunities that are out there. And we also, at times, I get emails from the American Job Center that actually sends me when they're looking to work specifically with our individuals or have a job that might. But to be honest with you, it's not a fluid, up to date, if you will, job that's sent to me every day or weekly or what have you. But what I can do is see how I can either work. What you're in the North region, Annette?
Yeah, yeah, I have a
Yeah,
30-year-old that is looking for a job, and I was wondering, can I email you to see if you ever have any openings to
yeah,
contact us?
definitely. But I would, like to coordinate with the North region, preferably um if your loved one has a case manager or what have you, to make sure we're in a transit, we're all in the loop and we can work as a team to cover our bases and go cast a wider net and see what's available, because there may be training opportunities where the individual can get a certificate, because that's one of the big pushes now under the Governor's Workforce Council. Governor Malloy, as some may be aware, is pushing for to keep and retain talent here in Connecticut, and especially those with disabilities. And so there's a lot of manufacturing opportunities that are launching and coming about. There's a lot of other opportunities outside of providers who are looking at launching businesses and things of that nature. And we'll be hiring, an integrated population, not just folks with ID, or it's various people, anyone. So there's opportunities. I don't know, exactly what the capabilities of the individual that you're speaking of. Is your son or daughter? I'm sorry.
It's my son.
Your son. What your son, exactly what his skill set is, but definitely I'd like to work with the region. You can send me some information, and I would love to include the case manager, and we can all just kind of figure out what would be the best effort and avenue to open and help your son get the job that he's looking for.
Thank you. I will contact you. Thank you again for the presentation and your help.
Thank you.
Great. Susan?
Good afternoon, and I also want to thank you for making yourself available and explaining all this. When you say you're looking to meet the needs and interests of those with higher lawns, are you thinking all the way up to sevens, um, and lawn sevens that have been trained to clean and to stock, and including again these volunteer possibilities? Like how high are you thinking you can go?
It's not my determination. My determination and what I come into this job, and anyone that comes and says they want a job, it is my responsibility and due diligence to make sure that I help to create an inroad to that. Now, if someone with a line 7 wants to be an airline pilot, I am not going to sell, false hope. But what I
Right.
will do is, okay, this individual likes airplanes. Let's see how we can figure something out, right? So my goal is, as we're planning and I'm working with the actual DDS Employment Strategic Planning Committee, is for everyone to come to the table, because that's why we were so invested in making sure all stakeholders were present at the table, because no one knows like a parent who has an individual with a high level of need with a high lawn, what it takes to help that person aspire and get to and achieve their goals. And so that's what we want to make sure is interwoven into the actual strategic plan and considering that. So when I say that we're considering it, we're considering for everyone that DDS is an employment first agency. That means any and everyone who wants to be employed, it is our responsibility to help them achieve that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and sell wolf tickets or anything like that, and being realistic, we have to, with it takes time, right? It takes due diligence, and it's going to take consistency. But the department is dedicated, as if for many of you, I don't know if you read our 5-year plan, again, reiterating in there our commitment to employment and helping those who want to be competitively integrated and competitive in a competitive integrated employment setting, making sure that they are afforded those opportunities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Michelle?
Yes, thank you for recognizing me, and thank you both for your presentations tonight. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a member of the Connecticut Council on Developmental Disabilities, and I just wanted to let people be aware, if you weren't already aware, that there is an organization called Grit and Flow that is coming in to give trainings to job developers. So I believe it's March 26th is like the meet and greet where they would like to meet with job developers from various parts of Connecticut, and to talk about helping to find employment for people with developmental disabilities, not necessarily with intellectual disabilities, because this is a group that has sort of like been falling between the services cracks in Connecticut. And so because this is a different population than what has normally been being addressed, I think it's very important that these trainings be attended, but so far we haven't had a lot of like positive response from the job developers. So because like they seem to be all trained out, they seem to think, oh, we've got enough training, we don't need any more training. So I'd really appreciate it if you could spread the word to whoever you can to attend those trainings, because there are plenty of people with other types of developmental disabilities in Connecticut who would like to work as well. And it's very difficult when there's nothing there to connect those dots for them. Thank you.
If I may, Michelle, we host JDLN meetings, which is the Job Development Leadership Network meeting. And if you want to provide whomever the contact is for this forum, the information, and I can see if it's something, take it to management, see if it's something that we can share with our job develop, in that particular networking, and see if that's something, and then we can see how we can help get the word out. And but again, I haven't seen the flyer. I don't know
That'd
who
be
the actual
awesome. Yeah, please tell me like, where can I send this information? Give me an email address or something.
Right. I'll leave that to Kathleen or Elisa. And then again, I am not making, I will have to take it back to the administration and make sure it's something that we can, as a state agency, we have to definitely be cognizant of what we put out. But I will definitely find that out. And if it's
It
something that
is
we
my
can share.
understanding that the trainings are already paid for by our DD grant. So it's not like it's going to cost your organizations anything.
Oh, no, I'm not looking for that. I just want to make sure that, in the effort of making sure we're not promoting something over something else, and just making sure that, and again, I don't want to over promise and under deliver, so I will bring it back to the administration, and if I get the okay to share it and to help get the word out there and see how we can incorporate it, I would do so.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I also just want to mention that I don't think it would be it wouldn't be promoting something over something else, for two reasons. For one, it is addressing a population that's not been addressed before. And for another, it's just another tool, as you mentioned, to put in people's toolbox. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Were there any other questions?
I think Norma has a hand up. That's me.
Oh, that's you. Hi, Norma.
Hi.
Go ahead.
A question I have, thank you very much for presenting, Amber, to us today. On the customized employment, you had mentioned that providers have been going through some kind of format with your team.
No, let me clarify. So
Okay.
providers have the option. So it's a 3-state collaboration. And so it's the State Department of Education, Aging and Disability Services, which is our VR vocational rehabilitation agency here in Connecticut, and DDS. We all came together, and a Connecticut customized employment curriculum was developed and created. And it was built on the fact that we wanted to streamline the training, because of, in all reality, the staffing turnover and things of that nature, we wanted to streamline it so that it wouldn't take so long for individuals to become certified in customized employment. And by the time they were certified, they were going on to another provider, and et cetera, et cetera. So the training is not with my unit. The training is a online asynchronous and synchronous type learning on Canvas, which is an online platform. We have auditors who are instructors that lead the synchronous sessions, and the asynchronous are done individually, and then they come back and they have work to do. It is a very in-depth and very it's a commitment to go through this training, because we want to make sure that those that are getting certified have the competencies to actually do the customized employment and to deliver the service. So they actually have to sign up. It's between, so right now, BRS or Aging and Disability Services, they sign up. We send out when it's right now they're in their second iteration of the training. So this is the second time we rolled it out with ADS, and then there's going to be a third one. And so providers have to submit a interest, and they can send to staff, et cetera, to the training, and then they go through and they become certified. And I would want to reiterate that this person is certified, not the agency. And the person is certified, which makes the provider a qualified provider to deliver customized employment. And right now we have roughly 25 staff members from various agencies across the state who are certified in customized employment. And then lastly, I want to reiterate that this is not only customized employment is not only being offered to individuals with intellectual disabilities. It is also BRS or ADS is offering it to their community partners too, to offer it to other
I'm
populations
on meeting.
who have other populations that have disabilities. So DDS, we know that it works for our folks, and the majority of the providers that are qualified through DDS will be going through to get training if they're interested. But I do want to also mention that BRS is offering it to their community resource partners who serve individuals that don't necessarily identify as having an intellectual disability. And it's all to get people employed.
Right. So the 25 people, are they staff people that work with the agencies?
There are staff that are hired by the various providers. Yes. So they are staff who are employed at different providers like Ben Haven, and there's a couple other, there's quite a few all over this. We've had a very healthy interest in providers sending their staff through the curriculum. And so the staff are qualified to deliver the service in all three parts, which is job development. Go ahead.
No, is there anyone in the North region that you know of?
Yes, and I can provide that to you, or actually speak with the North region contacts and share that information. But yes, we do have individuals, providers from the North region. And so again, what I want to reiterate is that not everyone can just come and say, I want to go through customized employment. Customized employment pretty much is, okay, you've tried other things. And what I encourage is you've tried other ways to go about becoming competitively employed, right? And it didn't work. So before you throw in the towel and say employment is not for me or not for my loved one, it's not working, then we want to encourage individuals now try customized employment. And that way it will show that you tried everything else, and this is an opportunity to try this service because it is very time intensive, right? Not only for the individual, but for the provider, for parents, etc. So, and case managers have been made aware and have been educated on what customized employment looks like, how they can help support families in deciding if this is the right step for them. There is a referral process for customized employment. So it's been very well thought of and thought about, and the how do I want to say, and the process has been very well organized to make sure that those who truly need to have this service available to them, it is available, and we're not finding that there's a stagnation in the pipeline of helping people move through it. So if that helps out.
Yeah, and I had one more question. You said that the people was it ASL that had the job postings, or working with ASL with the job postings as a group? Not sure what that was.
Job posting, I am not following. I unfortunately,
Okay.
This is Elisa. I think you said JDL.
oh, the
Network?
JDLN, which stands for the Job Development Leadership Network. And
Okay.
they don't have postings per se. I have a staff member that works, and he's very connected with various if you will, like the American Job Centers and other places, and they send him current employment that's out there. And there's also each person in my region has a contact at the American Job Center, so they get email blasts of what jobs are out there. And these jobs are everything. It's not like, we have things that come in for engineering as well, down to a box sorter or what have you. So they do get that type of information. So yeah, and I can work to send either to Elisa or Kathleen, contact that I have, and some other information that might be helpful in trying to identify what employment opportunities out there. But there are a lot of opportunities, and I just want to reiterate to everyone on this call, if you have a loved one and they or someone that you're representing that wants to work closely with the case manager, work closely with the team, and really, if you need, like I said, my staff is available if they want, the team wants to pull us in to maybe think about some things that haven't been considered, or might seem out of reach. Just, we can potentially find a way to work with the plan to make something happen. I also want to say that right now, as I mentioned earlier, it's the Great Resignation, as people are calling it. I call it the Great Realization, that there is an underutilized talent pool out here, and there's so much. We have assistive technology. There's so much happening every day that can make what used to be, you know, unattainable for some of our people. Now they can do it because there's a technology. Just advocating for that, working with the case managers and those that support that individual to think outside the box and see how we can get it done. And if there's anything I can do to help to facilitate that or work with the team, feel free to let me know.
And what's the year that this all began?
Which,
It's been going on. I mean, this project, the customized employment.
oh, customized employment has been around forever. I mean, I don't want to say forever, but it's been around for a while. And you can look up Mark Golden Associates, Griffin and Hammis. There are other models that were used to introduce customized employment through repetition and things like that. But as as things have changed and we are seeing more technology, and the Griffin and Hammonds and Mark Gold and Associates, they were building on a more traditional model of how to go about offering customized employment. What we in Connecticut and I think maybe one or two other states, we've looked at where we are, how we can streamline it, what works, and we've created a more condensed curriculum that is currently going through ACRE certification, and we offer it asynchronous and synchronous, because what happened before is providers would have to send all their staff to the training, and the training was, I think, almost 7 days. I can't remember, like 21 hours. They would have to find replacement staff. And that was a burden for many of them. So now what we've thought about is, hey, let's do it on the computer. They can do it in their own time, as well as some instructor-led section, and then we condense the time. And we've also made it so that it's not a burden financially for our providers. So all around, we've thought about how to support providers, but also to encourage and make sure that the actual customized employment curriculum here in Connecticut is a success, and we're seeing people actually be able to reach their employment goals by using this model, this service.
So this has
What
been,
about the other side of the coin, which is the employers? I mean, you need to have a soft ear from the employer side of things. A lot of employers have prejudice against people with disabilities. Is anyone working that angle?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that's it takes a village approach. And why I say that is, yes, we're always messaging and working with employers. And the great thing about what we've done with customized employment is we know that a lot of the groundwork and some of the relationship building with customized employment entails indirect hours, meaning individuals may not be present with the job developer, right? That job developer may have to go, and because part of it, as far as customized employment, is building a relationship. Customized employment is a job that you're working towards that is not created. I mean, that is not established. You're working to create it. Individualized, or if you want to call it individual supported employment, is matching a person with a job. The job is already established. It's just finding the appropriate match. Customized employment says, okay, this individual, based on discovery, these are their strengths. I've learned this is the person working, the provider working with the individual. I've learned their strength because I've seen them in their environment. I've watched them in their setting. So I know, okay, now that I have done the discovery process with this person, now let me go out and forge and establish a relationship with the provider, with an employer who has a need. So I may go to employer A and they may say, I need this, but I just can't keep anybody for this type of job and this, that, and the other. And so the job developer now is saying, okay, I have the person, let me match it with the opportunity, and let's create this working relationship and put in the supports that are needed. And then that's when you get the placement. So it's very different. And to answer your question, I think the Governor's Workforce Council is a deliberate approach to trying to help employers understand that individuals with disabilities, whether it be intellectual, whether it be mental health, whether it be physical, whatever someone identifies with as having a disability, employers are realizing that that doesn't take away from the person's talent, right? So the Governor's Workforce Council realizes that there is a need to foster this understanding and education so that employers realize that there is a group of people out here who have talent, and we want to keep them in Connecticut, so we need to really create opportunities and support them and create systemic and infrastructure to make sure that they are able to work and eventually become work in different communities or different companies and rely on natural support. So I think not only here at DDS, I think from the top down, from the administration, we're seeing the importance of helping to remove the stigmas and educate and to help to foster that. Just because you may see my disability doesn't make it different from someone who you can't see their disability, but they have one, right? It just may not show up till later on, but you might realize, so, and whether or not, I also want to say, everyone on this call, in one shape, form, or fashion, has needed an accommodation of some sort. One way or another, you sit and think, you have needed an accommodation of some sort. So from your employer or whatever it may be, so that you can do your job or whatever, however you say, even if you're an entrepreneur, right, and you're your own boss, you have needed an accommodation of some sort. If you're sitting on that chair and it caused your sciatic nerve to act up, I'm sure you went and got a cushion. That's an accommodation. So as people begin to realize that the measure and the degree of difference between someone who has an intellectual or mental health or physical, who's hearing impaired, but whatever it may be, that we're all running the same race. It's just how we run it that may differentiate who we are. And I think employers right now, especially with the Great Resignation, they've thrown all those biases. They just want people to get in there and do them jobs and help them meet their bottom line. From what I've been hearing from both sides of the coin.
That sounds terrific, but Connecticut is very late to the table with this, whereas this company, Grit and Flow, has proven success in this. They're out of California. Now, just because they're not from Connecticut doesn't mean that people should be shutting their doors and saying, we're not going to listen to the trainings. They've got proven success with matching, and finding employers to open the doors and matching jobs up for people. And I really think that they should be given a fair chance, that people shouldn't just be shutting the doors because they don't want to compete with customized employment or they think they've had too many trainings already.
This is Kathleen. I just want to interject and remind people that this is a public meeting that is being recorded. So if you have a comment, please remember to announce yourself. I know that was Michelle who just spoke then. Thank you.
Sure.
And Michelle, I just want to offer, from as the Director of Employment and Day Services, by no means are we saying no. We're
But
open
we've already
to,
heard a bunch of no's from a bunch of
and I
organizations
understand that,
and
but
job developers.
what I will say is you're on the meeting tonight, right? You're here tonight. Let's take each new day and new opportunity to look at it as, an optimistic chance to get our foot in the door and to possibly that one yes. I remember, I forget, Michael Jordan, when he went to try out, he did not, he got how many no's before he actually got on the team. It takes time, and sometimes it's that one yes that you get that actually opened the door and people begin to see. So
I
I'm
see,
not,
I see what you're saying, but when we give out our DD grants, they're given out for a certain amount of time. The effectiveness has to happen within that time phrase. And we've already spent the money. This organization has been given the funds. It seems a terrible waste of government taxpayer, of our taxpayer dollars for there to be some kind of political infighting or whatever the nonsense is that's going on that's causing this to not happen.
and again, I thank you, and I understand your frustration, and from the sense of, monies and dollars spent, we want to make sure tax dollars or whatever grant money is utilized in the most effective way, and everybody, those that it's intended for, reap the benefits of it. So what I would say is I can't speak for whomever. I don't know anything that has happened. I'm coming in here, just tonight. But what I will say is, as I presented earlier, submit your information, and let's take it from there. And hopefully I will have,
I still haven't been
some
told
good
who to
news.
submit it to.
I think we said earlier to send it to Elisa Velardo or to send it to Kathleen Hayes. They will be the ones to help facilitate
I don't have
what
any
happened.
contact information for either of those people.
Thank you, Michelle. The information will be provided. Elisa Velardo will make sure that her information is in the chat. Thank you. And Amber, I want to thank you very much. And Serginio, I want to thank you very much as well. They were very detailed presentations, and we certainly appreciate you taking the time this evening to be with us and to field a plethora of questions so expertly. So thank you so much.
Again, thank you so much. I am
Yep.
going to excuse myself from the rest of the meeting, if that's okay.
It is.
Elisa, is that okay with you?
Well, I just raised my hand because, Amber, I wanted to thank you. You provided a tremendous amount of information, and I appreciate your preparation and your willingness to field questions. And I have put my contact information in the chat. So thank you so much.
Okay.
And Serginio, thank you as well.
Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
And anytime you'd like me to come back, I'll be willing to do so. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a
Thank
good
Take
night.
care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, so the next item on our agenda is the approval of minutes from last meeting. And if you are not speaking, please make sure you're on mute. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting, please?
I approve.
Okay, Annette, a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Tammy seconded, thank you. Are there any opposed to the approval of the minutes? Okay, very good. So the minutes are hereby approved. Our next item on the agenda is the legislative update. And as always, I always like to just pass the baton off to Rick to see if you have anything to share with us.
I don't have a lot to share. There was a public hearing earlier this week on a variety of DDS related bills. There didn't seem to be a tremendous amount of interest in them, but at least two of them were technical in nature. One eliminated the Family Support Council, which has really eliminated itself about 3 or 4 years ago. So that has now been taken out of statute. I don't know why it died, but it did. There was created a new council, but it doesn't seem to be totally related to DDS, as sometimes the Public Health Committee sweeps things in together. So it was under the heading of a DDS bill, but really wasn't entirely related to that. There is a bill that's interesting. I don't recall the number that will clarify. I think the word is clarify that ABLE accounts will not count as assets or income for any state benefit program. I thought it was pretty clear before this proposed legislation that it didn't Medicaid eligibility, but this extends that to things like food stamps and things like that. There's a laundry list that's included in the bill, and certainly ABLE accounts were created in order to allow individuals to save and for families to provide in advance for needs of their loved ones, perhaps after their death or even currently. And there are limits as to how much can go into the ABLE account at any one time, but it is something that's very helpful. And I know this past year it became important because for a lot of people, because of the benefits that were received under the federal programs, which gave everybody the stimulus checks. And so a lot of our family members received stimulus checks and couldn't possibly spend it all within the time period before it stopped being exempt from asset rules. So
Rick, I just want to jump in on that bill. I haven't looked at it specifically recently, but I think that what it might do is there are certain state benefits that are not right now. ABLE accounts would not exempt resources like, right. And those would be state benefits only. So not federal right. benefits like SNAP, but like state supplemental cash assistance and SAGA cash payment, state aided general assistance. So I think that the bill would basically say we can exempt the state funded benefits that are not necessarily linked to federal dollars.
Yeah, well, I don't have it in front of me either, but I would call the word state administered benefits.
Yes.
So food stamps are federal monies, but they're administered by the state.
That's right.
And so it is something that should move forward. I did not attend or view the public hearing, so I don't know what the response was, but hopefully that will move forward. Unlike past years, actually last year this didn't happen either. There's been no report that's been sent out from DDS about bills of interest to DDS folks, and I don't know why that is, but I know Kevin Bronson attended our meeting a few months ago, and I think said that we would be getting such reports again, but I haven't gotten anything, and I don't know of anyone else that has. So it's really we're relying on other sources, our own resources, and in order to see what's out there, because oftentimes there are things that show up in strange places that you wouldn't ordinarily be. I mean, I know I check Public Health and Human Services pretty regularly to see what's out there, but sometimes things show up in the Labor Committee. The elimination of 14C often shows up there, for example. There have been bills in the past on voting rights. There are education bills, which I don't personally follow, that show up in the education committees. And so the service that Rod O'Connor had provided for many years was sometimes very voluminous, but you knew if it was in there, you should be at least looking at it. So that's really all I have to report. Federal legislation, Lord only knows what's going to happen. We know Build Back Better is at best sidelined and perhaps dead. And with the inflationary pressure now back full swing, it seems unlikely that Joe Manchin will ever come on board to support any kind of major new legislation under that area. So without that, you don't have enough votes to do anything.
Thank you so much, Rick.
Yeah. So certainly, Carol, Scully, if you have any things to add, or anyone else, please feel free to do so.
Okay, very good. All right, so now I think we have the very sad task of getting the regional director's update. Elisa, I'll give you the floor.
Hi, I'm Elisa Velardo, and Stacy Silva Gordon. I'd like you to turn your camera on.
I can see Stacy.
Oh, can you? I can't see her. Okay. It's not a sad task at all, because I am so pleased to announce that Stacy Silva Gordon is going to be taking my role as the regional director of the North Region effective April 1st. And you're in very, very, very capable hands. Stacy has been my assistant regional director for the private division for several years, and has over 20 years of experience within DDS. She is very, very skilled. She comes through case management. She's got a resource management background. She really knows all aspects of the department's business. And I will be stepping into the deputy commissioner role. So I will be about 3.5 miles down the road, and I will be available throughout the transition. But it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Stacy. She is going to be excellent in the role.
Well, but I'm sure, Stacy, I know we'd love to hear from you, and we welcome you happily, not sadly. But Elisa, just on behalf of myself, and I'm sure everybody echoes, there is just people in this world that I think you can tell are genuinely committed to the people that they serve, and are genuine in what they say and follow through in what they do. And that's been my impression of you for many years. And I've just been so impressed by you personally and professionally, and was unsurprised to receive the news that you've been elevated to the deputy commissioner role, because it's just so well deserved. And I just want to thank you for all the information you've shared with us, and for your commitment to this group. And I know that you'll be in a great position to continue to serve in perhaps even a more global way across the state. So congratulations to you, and just thank you for everything that you do and will continue to do.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and thank you to the RAC committee members who reached out immediately. I think some of my first points of contact after the announcement was made last Friday were from members of this council. And it's been a pleasure to report in to the North Region Regional Advisory Council. And as I said at the onset, I have no doubt that we will continue to collaborate together in my new role. I have great admiration for the work that each of you do in terms of advocacy. And you say that I have shared a lot of information with the council. I have learned far more than I have shared, I believe. Rick, your legislative updates, the information that we've shared just family to family has been really helpful to me in my role. And so I have appreciated the opportunity to work with the council. Thank you. Now that I'm all choked up, I'll give my regional director update. All right, I've been working on a document that just looks at the initiatives that we have started over the last 2 years. And it started as a short list. I've actually been working with the other regional directors, and it very quickly became a very long list. And I won't take you through every item on the list, but it was remarkable to me how much has occurred in this last 2-year period, particularly because it all occurred as we lived through a global pandemic. So I've been working with my counterparts, and we've just been gathering information so that we have an update on each of these areas. I will start with what Amber Burke referred to as the Great Resignation. I hadn't heard that term before, but within DDS, you may know that as of the end of this month, we are looking at a large number of retirements. And it will be the first of 2 waves. And so we anticipate in June of this year, there will be an additional number of retirements. But at last count, for DDS alone, I counted over 100 employees that will be retiring as of the end of this month, people at all levels of the organization. And so one of our great areas of focus has been in planning, succession planning, and then working with our colleagues in human resources around hiring. And that process within the state system takes some time. And so it really has been a combination of coverage plans and prioritizing those positions that we will be onboarding. So I think you'll see more announcements. Obviously, Deputy Commissioner Mason, who most of you have worked with in one capacity or another, and is retiring at the end of this month. He's incredibly knowledgeable, and we are very, very lucky that he will be coming back as what the state calls a temporary worker retiree. And he'll be working particularly on projects related to our ARPA funding. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I am very appreciative that I'll have the ability to continue to work with him. There will be, as I said, positions throughout the department at every level. Certainly direct support has been a priority. It's critical, and the state is no exception. We've talked a lot within these council meetings around staff, workforce stability, and the issues that providers are experiencing in terms of direct support staff at all levels. DDS also has been experiencing the same. As we've had retirements at that direct support level, we've had to work to bring people on as quickly but as thoroughly as possible. And so that really has been our priority, and that means that other positions are taking a little longer, but direct support is absolutely it's non-negotiable. We are thankfully very much beyond our January Omicron surge, and so our numbers in terms of COVID have been very, very low. We've been staying around that 2% mark for quite some time. I'm really happy to report that, and that has resulted in so many great strides in reopening services. So day programs are up and running. Our respite centers are up and running once again. Our family support workers are out there working with families. Really, I couldn't have predicted in January that we would be where we are in March, and I'm so grateful that that things have improved so quickly. Let's see, I mentioned our family support workers back. Rick, you just gave us a legislative update. You'll recall a couple years back, we received funding, $5 million in emergency funding. And so those resources have been put to really good use. We opened a number of programs, and I'll just go through them. Our step down unit that is operated in Newington has been a real godsend during this period. It was designed to prevent people from staying for long periods of time in ERs or in hospital situations. And in the period of time that it's been open, it has supported 20 guests. People have really responded to the structure of the step down unit. And so it's a very well managed service. I know the program manager very well, very committed. And she provides monthly updates to the regional directors. But the folks that go to the step down unit tend to be complex individuals. And so the length of stay can vary because it does take some time for some of the folks that have gone there to stabilize. But from the step down unit, the staff there supports individuals to transition back to the community settings, whether that be a private provider, whether that be back to a family home, whether that be to a CCH. There have been all of the above, and they've done really nice work. And then an agency in the North region, RMS, opened a program called Branches. It's emergency transitional housing, very similar to the step down unit, maybe a little less intense in terms of the clinical acuity. But again, they opened in January of 2020, 2 months before this pandemic. And they have been a resource across the state. They accept referrals from the 3 regions. They have a capacity of 3. The step down unit has a capacity of 5 individuals. Branches is located in Meriden, and they've done just an outstanding job of supporting people who are in crisis and then transitioning them planfully into a longer term setting. With emergency funding, we expanded our individual and family support services. Before I came to DDS, this was one of those services that I was just not familiar with. I had come from the provider sector, and I did not realize how much work DDS does with our individual and family support workers that go out and work in family homes, support individuals in family homes, support individuals at every level of acuity. So they support people that are in crisis, and then they support people just to maintain stability. They help with appointments. They help with coordination in the community. They help with transportation. I've had our family support workers go out and support people to get vaccinated, people who have a really hard time with medical appointments, and have been able to very successfully be supported to get vaccinated. And so our IFS workers are out and completely. There have been times where they've had to pause. Many families didn't want people to come in and out of their home at certain periods during COVID. So there have been times where their support has been more virtual and checking in with people, but they're back and supporting people in person for those who want that. From January of 2020, we took a look at how many emergencies had been placed statewide, and 238 individuals that were identified as emergencies were supported in receiving services, again, during a global pandemic. And there were times that I thought, oh, things are really moving slowly. And then you look at the numbers in total and you realize, wow, that's a vast number of individuals that have been supported, that were identified as emergencies, that are now no longer considered emergencies. So that is good news. Other things that have occurred, and I'll just bullet through these pretty quickly for the sake of time. We, as of January 1st, some of our private providers utilize nursing support agencies. So they subcontract, and there are agencies that all they do is provide nursing supports. We went through a process where those nursing consulting agencies now need to be qualified providers. They still, the agency is still responsible, but we work to put in some guidance so that those nursing consulting agencies are now qualified providers. Assistive technology, I've talked to you about assistive technology. The good work continues. We have a current pilot is remote supports. We have 2 agencies, 20 people in total, that are now living in their own apartments with remote supports in place. We meet with those agencies. We alternate weekly meetings, and that's really, really moving beautifully. We've been talking with providers in general around IHS services, that's individual home supports, and how we can strengthen IHS services. Those are for people who live in their own apartments and have not 24-hour continuous needs, but they have a combination of in-person supports, some technology, and then on-call or on-demand supports. And so we've been working with providers around that. Our respite centers, I mentioned, are up and running, and we have a new respite center in Meriden that is just opening, and it'll be our first 24/7 respite center. So for those of you who've used respite, our respite centers run from Thursday through Monday, which is nice for a long weekend, but sometimes the need doesn't end on Monday. And so the respite center in Meriden will be available if somebody's going in, say, for a procedure in the hospital and they need a week to recover. We will have a respite center that is able to provide support in those situations where it's beyond the long weekend. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see. I will highlight a couple other things. I mentioned the branches program operated by RMS that has been so successful that we're going to be opening a second emergency transitional housing program. And again, the design is to support people who are in crisis, and it has meant that people in emergency rooms are not spending extended amounts of time the way they were, or if somebody is struggling, a primary caregiver falls ill and they need support abruptly, we have these programs that we turn to, and they've been really immensely helpful. We have what's also called a clinical response team, and this also came out of our emergency placement funding. And we have a team in each of the regions. The provider that provides support to the North region is Oak Hill. They also provide support to the South region. And then there's an agency called We Do Life Together that provides support to the West region. And these agencies are really focused on clinical supports. So there are times that somebody may be supported at home. It's not uncommon where there's a behavior support plan, but the family may be struggling with implementing it. This team can go in and provide some additional support. They also do that for private providers. So there are times that a person's needs are not being met clinically. They're struggling, and they may have clinical supports in place, but these are specialized clinical supports that can go in, work with the agency, provide some training, and that's been working really well. We just met to look at the effectiveness. Our clinical directors are the main point people, the clinical directors in each of the regions, and the effectiveness is clear. So for our North region, we're going to expand that service to a bilingual clinician, which is sorely needed, as well as we're looking at occupational therapy services. I'll go through a couple of other things, and then I see some hands are up. Let's see what else is on my list here. Clinical response team. Oh, and then I had an update on the IDASH developments. So you know that the Canton IDASH opened in February of 2021. Just recently, Hark opened the Clover Gardens IDASH in Hartford. The majority of people identified for that setting have moved in, and that's been very exciting. And then there's Lavender Fields that is opening in Bloomfield, and that setting should be opening in April or May. So those are the 3 IDASH. Those are supported housing settings that were a part of an initiative with the Department of Housing. And in addition, not IDASH, but still supported housing, we have additional settings that are opening up. So we have one in West Hartford, and we've been in the initial discussion stages with other providers who are very, very interested in this model. NCI, I've talked about NCI before. We're well underway. I've done my first 2 surveys. They were tremendous. Another opportunity to just connect with people. And we'll have 175 surveys done in the North region by the end of this fiscal year, so by June. And we have staff at all levels, all members of our leadership team have undergone training, and it's just an initiative that is not only immensely helpful to hear directly from constituents, but the data that results from the NCI is part of this longitudinal study. That's the comparison of states across the country. And so it really helps us to benchmark where we are as a state in comparison to other states within the country. I think that's enough for today. Norma, I saw that you had your hand up. And you are on mute.
Yes, this is Norma Lamonaco. Can I use this time I have 2 comments, one on residential and one on a form that I got last week from my case manager. I just wanted to bring it up to the group. Can I do that?
I think we're going to have a moment, it's time for public participation, and I just want to make sure that there are no questions in terms of my report.
Okay.
If there are any questions?
Excuse me.
No worries at all. Okay. Any questions on the regional director's report?
You know, I just wrote down here with a question mark, wearing masks in the programs and residential homes. Meaning not group homes, but residential houses, like CRSs.
Not group homes, CRSs, the mask mandate, it's certainly still encouraged, okay. But it is not required in residential homes.
And what about programs in our region?
Again, day programs, not required, highly encouraged. And in CLAs are considered healthcare settings. And so the mask mandate is still in place for CLAs.
Okay, but is it in place for a program like our programs that our kids go to during
Like
the
like a day
employment?
program, like a
Yeah.
day program?
Yeah,
Not required, no longer required.
okay,
But certainly anyone who feels more comfortable wearing a mask, it's highly encouraged.
okay. Will it be by provider after, that what you did mention that to me, but now I'm wondering, I haven't heard anything from our provider I did ask a question 2 weeks ago about it.
So the state expectation is exactly what I stated. Any provider can exceed the requirements, so I would recommend that you talk to the specific provider.
Okay. And in a employment, should I say it, in an employment group
In the community.
in the community?
So in the community, if somebody works at TJ Maxx or their employer would
Okay.
provide guidance to any
Okay.
employee.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And what is IDASH?
Yeah.
IDASH, intellectual and developmental disabilities and autism supported housing.
It's all supported housing.
It's supported housing, and it is not specific to DDS. It's also available to people with autism.
Okay. And supporting housing. So that would be a residential, supporting people in a residential home.
IDASH is it's an apartment setting, or it's multiple apartments, and up to 25% of the apartments are set aside for people with intellectual or developmental disabilities. The developments we've had are multi-unit, fair market, or generally low-income tax credit developments, but they're multi-unit apartment buildings, and then a certain number are set aside for people with disabilities. So it's a completely integrated setting. There's a community room. There's a focus on really having it be a community where people interact with one another. There are very specific guidelines around IDASH to make sure that people are part of the community in the setting.
And the percentage of those being developed, roughly?
There were 3 IDASH programs. They take about a couple years to develop because 2 of them were ground up. So figure a 40-unit apartment building from the ground up. They take a couple years, but the 3 IDASH developments that were awarded probably 3 years ago now are all up and running, and that was a particular RFP, but there are other very, very similar. They're just not considered IDASH. They're considered supported housing that are being developed all through the state.
Okay. Thank you, Elise.
Thank you. I see there are some hands up, but I can't see who.
Susan?
Thank you. So this is my first RAC meeting, and I'm really excited that I got your last one. I do have a question though. You just dropped a tremendous number of acronyms like IDASH and for some very interesting sounding programs and some great sounding accomplishments. Can the meeting minutes include the expanded titles of the acronymed programs? And will it include your complete report?
So the meeting is being recorded, and the actual meeting will be available online. We do have a document that actually has DDS acronyms, and I apologize for that. Some of these things I've reported on over the months, and so I forget not everybody has been in the meetings leading up to this, so I apologize. There is a document, though, that has acronyms, and I'm aware that we have in our system just a lot of terms that we abbreviate, and so I can see if I can find that, and we can include that with the minutes as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That was great. Great point. Thank you.
Yeah. Accurate.
Michelle?
Yes, thank you for recognizing me. And thank you, Elsa, for your report. Susan basically answered my question. It was the same thing. I didn't know what some of these alphabet soups were. But also I wanted to say from my earlier comments that I am commenting as an individual, not as I don't speak for the Connecticut Council on Developmental Disabilities, even though I serve on it. I am speaking when I made my comments, I'm speaking as an individual. I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. All right, are there any other questions for Elisa? Okay, so we have about 8 minutes left, and Norma, I know that you had a question. Rick, I think you're on, if you can mute yourself, getting a little background noise. We do ask that for public participation that you are able, in the interest of time and also in general, following our overall meeting organization minutes, that you limit your comments to around 3 minutes if you're able to do so. Norma, we can start with you.
Hi, thank you for recognizing me. And thank you, Elise, for your report. I have my family has been working on an opportunity that we have for our son, as we have bought a two-bedroom home, that we have a potential individual that is a friend and his family would like for these two boys to be roommates, but they're very interested, of course, in that as well. My son is in the North region. That individual was in the North region for many years, but left to go to the South region. Anyway, to make a long story short, we're working on this with case managers. My question is that how do we facilitate? And I know we've gone to the case manager, everybody knows what's going on. The other case manager knows as well. The agency also knows as well. How do we facilitate putting this program together for both these individuals? And that's a question. And also, we have been doing this since September. We've gotten the house, we've gotten the agency, the families want to work together, the individuals want to work together, and everything's in place. And we're still waiting. It just seems like we're waiting much too long. Why is this taking so long? That's my second question. But my first, if you want, was how do we
How do you coordinate?
how do you facilitate all of this now that everything's in place, all the players know everything, and we're still not in the house, but we've got everything? What's holding it up, I guess? What would be holding it up?
So without the background, I think it would be more, I need to have a longer conversation. I don't
Okay.
know if you're self-directing. Are you self-directing?
Yes,
Or
yeah.
you are, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think it's probably more of a conversation that I can answer based on the information that I have. But if you want to
Okay.
reach out to me, we can have a conversation.
Okay, thank you, Elise.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. I would like to do that.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
In the next week, I'll just email you and you let me know when's a good time.
That sounds fine. Thanks,
Thank you.
Norma.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I am being mindful again of the time.
Yes.
Cindy, I know your hand is up. You're on mute, Cindy.
Thank you very much for recognizing me. I have a very quick question. A few months ago, the commissioner joined us, as you know, and he mentioned something about 100 vacancies, residential vacancies within Connecticut. And I wondered if that information is at all available to us as parents. Is that
100.
something that's available to us? Vacancies.
100 vacancies statewide.
Yes.
Stacy, do you know the answer to that?
I don't know the total statewide, but I imagine it possibly could be around that because we have quite a few in our region alone. So I'm pretty sure that we do have a lot.
And do we know where those vacancies are? Is that something that's available to parents or not?
We haven't disseminated that a list to parents, but we do. Case managers are able to access them through their supervisor and PrAP manager.
And the reason Cindy is they're in various stages. So when we're looking at vacancies, some are vacant with somebody already identified, some are vacant where people are visiting, some are vacant and they're newly vacant, some are vacant and there's 3 females that live there and the person who comes has got to be a female. And so if we just gave a list, I don't think it would be very, very helpful. But if you work with your case manager, we do cross regions. And so South region, North region, West region, we work together. That shouldn't be an issue. If there's an opportunity in Orange, Connecticut, our team is able to work with the other regions. But a list alone would not, I don't think, be all that useful. There's a lot of additional information that we utilize to determine what an appropriate referral would be.
Yes, because another parent and I were discussing this recently, and we've always been told there's portability, but we just don't see it or hear about it or know about it. And we haven't had such success going through the routes that you have just offered us. So it just seems it's a little frustrating sometimes.
So all of the providers are on our portal. If there are providers in your area, and you have a case manager?
Yes, we do.
You can work with your case manager to identify providers, and then they can look at what opportunities those providers may have.
I see. Yeah, the answer we've gotten is there are people who are who are homeless who need placement, and you're not. So that's the answer we've been getting. It's not urgent. Yeah, it's not urgent.
Does your family member already receive services?
Yes, he's in a group home now. Yeah. But we've just gotten, the answer we've gotten is, you're not an urgent need right now. And there are people who are on the street who do need placement. So that's why I'm wondering about this whole mobility process.
If you want to reach out to Stacy or I with more information, we can help you with that.
Oh, thank you so much. Sorry to bug you down with this. Yeah, thank you so very much
No
for answering
problem.
that. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we're at 7 o'clock. I think we've had a very robust meeting tonight. Thank you again to Serginio and to Amber. Elisa, you will be missed. We wish you luck. Stacy, we welcome you with open arms and we look forward to working with you. So I wish everybody a wonderful night and we will see you next month.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night.
Can you
Thank
just
you,
do
everyone.
I
Have a
mean,
good evening.
Kathleen,
Bye-bye.
can we just do a motion to
Oh, yes,
adjourn the
yes.
meeting? Sorry.
Have a motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
So moved.
I see Annette, I saw yours. Oh, and Rick, I'm going to take that as a second.
Yeah.
All right, any opposed? All right, the meeting is officially adjourned at 7:01.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank you.
Elisa.
everyone.
We'll miss you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Elise. Bye, Kathleen.